Hi, I'm Ash and welcome to this review of the 2025 North Mode Pro. There is now a 2026 Mode Pro, but I've not had opportunity to review that wing yet. Looking at the construction of this wing, we have North's own Matrix N-Weave 45 material for the leading edge and strut, which is a stiffer material than standard Dacron. We also have a carbon UDI strip in the leading edge to provide support for deflection of the wingtips. The canopy material is North Matrix Canopy, which is quite a high GSM ripstop type material. The canopy features radial seams running parallel to the loading in the canopy, load diffusers on the wingtips and rear of the strut, 3 hard battens for each wing, and a doubling of material along the trailing edge to minimise stretch in this area. The wing is a compact design with an overall span for the 4.8 metre of 321 centimetres. We have a single inflation tube between the leading edge and strut with a locking off clamp. We also have double inflation valves for the leading edge and strut using 2 hyperflow valves, and inflation PSI for the 4.8 metre is 8 PSI. For handles we have the usual North shift lock system. North's handles are a UVA foam covered carbon handle and are some of the most comfortable to hold on the market. There is no angling to these handles other than some small bend from the strut itself. We have the ability to pistol grip, and the handles have rubberized ends to protect boards from impact. We have a window in each wing running parallel to the strut, and they provide an okay but slightly restricted view downwind. The flag handle is a reasonable size and stiffness and has a rubberized pad to stop knuckle abrasion. The wing also comes with a Dyneema shock cord wrist leash, which is of reasonable quality and features a swivel and velcro padded wrist collar. The canopy itself we can describe as being of good tension, and this tension runs front to rear trailing edge. The wing itself looks to be a very nice construction and the graphics are understated. We do have some small wingtip protection bands, and looking across the canopy itself we do not have a huge amount of dihedral, and the wing itself flags very nicely, although there was almost no wind at all at the beach, so it was hanging a little bit tail low in this video clip. Lastly, we should mention wing weight, and like previous North wings, this is at the heavy end of heavy and absolutely should not be described as lightweight in any capacity. As always, our reviews follow a structure, and I'll put that on the screen now, but won't read through the entire list. We'll be starting with pumping onto foil. This wing is described as being for high speed and pro level performance, so we should not be expecting bags of low end, as that is not what this wing is for. It is designed for riding powered at speed. That said, I found the pump onto foil even in light wind to actually be okay. Obviously in ultra light wind it struggles, but I was pleasantly surprised that the wing knew how it wanted to fly in light wind, was not that hard to pump, although bear in mind it is quite a heavy wing, and it generated power and speed quite nicely in light wind. The wing didn't need any special pump technique, and so I'll rate its low end as adequate. It isn't a grunty wing on the low end, but you can make it work. High end is a different matter, and this is where it excelled. For blasting at speed, it's super stable, confidence inspiring, accelerates really well in gusts, and has a nice balance of power between the hands. Exactly what you want from a performance freeride wing. The balance of the wing does not change in gusts, it just accelerates, and the top end was very addictive. When it comes to ordinary jibes, this wing isn't wonderful. It's just too heavy and doesn't float very well. This is unavoidable due to its weight, but if you're flying in powered conditions, then it's likely you won't notice too much, as the wind will hold the wing up. In light wind conditions, you do notice the strut dropping when you try to float the wing around a jibe. For advanced jibes like Heineken jibes and race jibes, again we do feel the swing weight of the wing, and whilst it flies well through the moves, you can't help but notice the weight. The frustrating thing for me here as a tester is that this wing flies well. It does what you ask of it and it is compliant. It's just that the experience is coloured by the wing being overly heavy, and this affects and removes that lightweight, playful feel you get with lighter weight wings. Of course, I understand that if you build it heavy, then it's likely it will have better durability, but I can't help but feel the North wings are just overbuilt. Moving on to tacks, and I had heard that the mode doesn't tack well, and I'm not sure I agree with that. It had a definite tendency to want to fly overhead and not fly on its side, so most of my tacks did end up a bit overhead, but it cut through the wind really quite nicely, and at the end of the tack, although I had to pull the wing down to repower it, it did instantly power up and pull me through the remainder of the tack. The wing was nicely neutral through the tack with no negative pressure. If anything, there was slight positive pressure, and as wind got stronger, a definite tendency to want to flatten out rather than fly on its side. Overall, I got through tacks without an issue and without losing speed. It wasn't doing my preferred fly on its side tack, but nevertheless it was efficient and repowered well. When it came to jumps, whilst it was well controlled in the air, all my jumps seemed to be long and flat rather than high, so it seemed to carry speed in jumps but not particularly height. I suspect I may need a change of technique and a more aggressive up angle on the wing to generate height, given it's a lower profile wing. Overall it jumped fine, nothing that I'm going to wax lyrical about. I think some refinement in my technique would likely create both length and height in my jumps, but overall it was fine. Nothing wrong with its jumping, it was stable and it did the job. I didn't have the most amazing swell sessions for flagging out, but this is not really what the mode is designed for. It isn't a wave wing. That said, the flag out was actually fine, it didn't pendulum, and it was well behaved on the flag handle and easy to control. The mode is designed to go fast and be stable and competent in higher winds, and this is absolutely where the mode excels. It was 100% a fast wing, and I often found it wanting to go faster, but the sea state was not conducive to doing that if I wanted to stay on my foil. So the mode went as fast as I wanted it to go in our somewhat choppy conditions. The speed was addictive and easily accessible, which made the ease of use and ability to get performance from the Mode Pro not out of reach for your average foiler. So in terms of delivering what it says on the tin, I give the Mode Pro full marks. It is absolutely a high speed, powered, blasting wing, and if that's what you want, then absolutely give it a go. Now I will temper that statement slightly in that this is a performance freeride wing, it's not a race wing, so it has good speed for a freeride wing, but it is a normal wing, not a double skinned or dedicated race wing. So it's for performance freeride rather than dedicated race. For backwind riding, it was not the most stable of wings with a lot of dipping of the leading edge and gusts, but it did generate okay power if you could keep it still, and it also did a decent tack out without always dropping off of foil. It wouldn't be my pick of wing for backwinding, but it was passable if a bit unruly. Okay, let's get into some pros and cons. The pros are that it has an okay low end, given it's a performance wing. It is stable at speed and confidence inspiring when riding fast, and it is a fast wing. It's lots of fun in powered conditions, and I really enjoyed riding it in powered up conditions, and it generally flies well and has good accessibility for those wanting performance freeride. The cons are the usual North Wing issues. It is overbuilt and too heavy, which impacts its playfulness, and is really no fun at all if you happen to be becalmed and have to hold the wing up in no wind or foil due to that weight. Okay, so who is this for? Well, it's for intermediate or expert riders. Beginners should generally opt for a wing with excellent low end, and the Mode Pro is really only adequate on the low end side. Anyone who rides in powered conditions or strong winds should definitely consider it. If you like playful wings or lightweight wings, then avoid it entirely. If you want to go fast but without moving to a dedicated race wing, then this would be a good option. The Mode Pro 4.8 metre, as tested in this review, is currently £1,249, which is certainly in the more expensive high end of the market. It is not in my shortlist as a replacement wing for my aging 2024 5-metre unit. It's just too heavy for me to consider it, but I will say that I did very much enjoy my time riding it, but I ultimately want something more playful. As always, I'd like to thank the Watersport Centre for the demo of the wing. Their link is in the description, and I'll see you on the next video.